Hi there, Dr. Rajiv Iyer here with more secrets on how you can be successful as an international medical graduate doctor in Canada. Here, I'm going to tell you the two mistakes I did during my Canada PR application and Canada immigration so you can avoid doing these mistakes. And let's do this together. I applied for my Canadian permanent residency when I was in Toronto. I was a clinical fellow in anesthesia at University of Toronto. I had the Canadian experience, so I applied for Canadian experience class. I looked at the application. It looked fairly simple, so I decided I'm going to apply this on my own without the help of any immigration attorney or any immigration consultant. Well, that was a good choice because it's fairly simple. You don't need it. It's all about making sure you fill the application properly and you attach the proper documents. As a part of Canada PR application, you're supposed to take a language test. This is either English or French. Now, I was interested in staying in Ontario, so I took the English language test. Now, in those days, when I took it, there used to be only one exam, to my knowledge, that is the IELTS, which stands for the International English Language Testing System. As of today, there are two different tests, the CELPIP, which stands for Canadian English Language Proficiency Index Program, and the IELTS. The IELTS had four components: listening, reading, speaking, and writing. The test report form you're seeing on the screen is my actual test report form that I took during Canadian permanent residency application. Now, the expectation is you get a score of 7 and above in each of these components and also as the overall band score. Now, I did get a score of more than 7. I filled the application, I attached all the required document, I attached the IELTS test score and submitted for Canadian immigration. I received an email saying your application has been successfully submitted. After about a few weeks or months, I got an email saying your IELTS score was not accepted. I was a bit confused because I had a score of more than 7. Then I started reading about the Canadian permanent application all over again. I realized I had made a mistake. Now, the mistake is that I took the wrong type of IELTS. This IELTS has two types. One is the academic option. The other one is the general training option. Now, what I did, probably I missed reading it properly. I thought in my mind, I am a doctor, an IMG doctor from India. I have done my medical college. I have done residency in anesthesia. I have worked as a consultant in anesthesia. And now I'm a clinical fellow in anesthesia in Toronto. So I figured I should probably go through the academic pathway. And so I took that. Then I thought in my mind, if I clear the academic option of IELTS, I should be able to easily clear the general training option because the academic option is more complex than the general training option. So I had a great idea. I wrote to Immigration Canada. I politely asked them, well, if I get a score of more than 7 on the academic option, does that not mean that I would be more likely or probably 100% sure that I would get a more than 7 score on the general training option? They said they cannot accept the academic option. So what did I have to do? I had to go back and retake the basic option. It was not only a waste of time, but also a waste of money. So, a word of caution to you is make sure you read the application thoroughly, and when you take the IELTS, make sure you take the general training options for Canadian permanent residency and not the academic option. This is true for IMG from any country. You could be coming from a primarily English-speaking country from, let's say, Australia. It does not matter. You still have to take this basic for your Canadian immigration. So make sure you don't do that mistake that I did. The second mistake, when you get your Canadian permanent residency while you're in Canada, you're on a visa in Canada. So you have to step back out of Canada and then come inside as a Canadian permanent resident. When you do that, Canada gives you an option of bringing your things from your home country or from anywhere you're coming in without paying any taxes. And to my knowledge, you can even buy a car and bring it into Canada, assuming it satisfies the requirement of Transport Canada. So this is a golden opportunity where you should not miss. Otherwise, any other time you enter Canada bringing things, you need to pay taxes to Canada, even though you would have paid taxes outside of Canada. Now, I'm not an immigration attorney or a consultant. Do make sure you check all the recent rules and follow them promptly so you don't end up breaking any of the rules. If you find out anything that is new or I did not mention or something that I mentioned but has changed, do leave it in the comments below so other IMGs can also benefit from your comment and they can learn the right things. I also found a YouTube channel that talks about various resources and also information from Government of Canada, and that you can check it out from the link below in the description. And this YouTube channel is called Citizenship and Immigration Canada. Next thing I suggest is you check this video out where I have left a step-by-step description on how you can work directly as a consultant in Canada without repeating residency all over again. I also have a lot of resources on how you can be successful in Canada that I have left in the description below. Do check them out one by one so you ultimately end up being a successful international medical graduate doctor in Canada. Take care, stay safe, I will talk to you soon. On the IELTS, the IELTS had 4 components: listening, speaking, writing. Make sure you check all the recent rules and do make sure you check all the recent rules so you stay in the books for being a rule